What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the OddsShopper channel, coming to you with a Monday Night Football edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. We got the Steelers. What? The Steelers hosting the Giants, 36.5 total. Oh, God. Let's talk through this one. Hit the like button, subscribe button, notification bell goes a long way for me, and this video goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Hey, Malik Neighbors is really good at football. I've enjoyed watching him. Russell Wilson cooked for the first time in a long time. Russell Wilson cooking, that was a thing. Now Justin Fields is questionable to even suit up, period. It's going to be the emergency quarterback. Should probably look into that before I handicap it. Oh, wait, I already did. Doesn't matter because any other backup quarterback you just put for a 0. But Lindy 5-0. Ooh, look at that. Put a 5 in front of Lindy and then put a 0 on the back end of that. And you get yourself 50% off of tails. That is $10 for your first week, $25 for your first month. Super quick. Super easy. And hey, you want to get it for free? Would you like to get it for free? Well, this is a super easy way to do it. If you haven't signed up at any of these sites on your screen right now, simply sign up at them. And then use these 4 simple steps. And then get yourself a free month of Lindy's package. Again, $25 when you use Lindy 50, but well, $0 if you just sign up at one of those sites. So super quick, super easy. Would love to see you in there. But without further ado, got to get back on the got to get back on the locks smashes. We got the Aaron Jones smash on Thursday Night Football. Kansas City -9. That was an absolute stab to the heart. I hate that football team this season, even though they're really, really good. And probably just felt like, all right, they have to recover an onside kick. And they didn't really even try, but broke my heart. Anywho, we've got Monday Night Football. I've got some bets. I've got ones that I really, really like. Tons of process through this one. Producer Jacob, let's get to the picks. This is going to be one of the shorter videos ever because I think this is a very clear-cut football game. The Giants +6 taking on Pittsburgh. Props already up. Not a ton of injury news waiting in the wings. Justin Fields is questionable, as I brought up on the onset there, but most everything other than Ella Manure, who's the tackle there for the Giants. That's somebody who definitely matters. And then we have all of the out tags on all these great pieces on the Steelers side, but they're almost all on the offensive line, or Herbig, who's on the edge. And you're not going to be thinking a whole hell of a lot about them. Cordarrelle Patterson, who's going to be out for this one. So Jaylen Warren, his workload probably a little bit more secure. In fact, we just saw him take over a little bit more of that snap share. In fact, first time that it really switched towards him, which doesn't surprise me all that much for a couple of reasons. One, Russell Wilson, not going to be as mobile as Justin Fields. So whereas Justin Fields could be an extension of the run game now, that becomes dump-offs. And Russell Wilson dumping it off to Jaylen Warren, there will be a ceiling game that comes out of it at some point. Is that going to be here in a 36.5 total? I don't really think so. But Russell Wilson, there's no denying that he looked as good as you could possibly imagine him to look up against the Jets, who kind of exposed themselves as a fraud. I mean, 2-6 New York Jets. They could use a bye and just go to Tahiti at this point because their playoff odds are minuscule. They basically have to run the table at this point, and that's not looking very likely with the way that they're rolling out. But only 16 for 29 for Russell Wilson, but some really, really sharp throws, specifically in the red zone. Had the 2 tutties to go with it. Made some good plays, not even with his legs to actually rush it. He only had 3 rushing attempts for a yard, but to give himself open windows and open lanes. And if Russell Wilson is able to do that, I know it was a calf injury, and I know Denver, it's not like he had some onslaught of massive pass catchers there. I mean, Steelers were in the running for a number of wide receivers. I don't know who they could possibly go out and get here over the course of the next week, but sure, somebody, although George Pickens, a lot happier when he has a mobile quarterback who isn't looking to run and is looking to just get out of the pocket and open up passing lanes like he did for George Pickens. 9 targets right from the get-go, 5 catches, looked awesome, 111 yards, his second best outing. And George Pickens actually cooked against Indy, but who doesn't cook against Indy at this point? Yeah, everybody. So let's go to some of the plays here, shall we? Because this is where it starts to begin. I want to give all the people in the comment section spreads. I want to. I really, really want to. But if I don't believe in it, I'm not going to just give you a bad bet. I thought about the Giants +6. I thought about taking the points here for a number of different reasons. One, Daniel Jones, I do think that he's been serviceable. And a lot of people will say, Eric, just watch the tape. It's not true. No. Daniel Jones has made good decisions to avoid turnovers. There's at least that. He only has 4 picks on the year, and I say only 4 picks because it seems as though he's thrown 34, just from the narratives around him, from people talking about him. But he's got over an 80 passer rating. He's got only 4 interceptions to go with 6 touchdowns on the year. And don't forget, he had Malik Neighbors out for 2 weeks. They ended up going to Seattle and putting the hurt down on there, and then they got hurt against Cincy. That was not so pretty. They get Malik Neighbors back, and then they laid an egg against Philly, and that was at home. That was not ideal. There's no real excuses for that, but Daniel Jones is one of those guys who's going to throw out an egg here and there, and you just have to deal with it. But at +6, this is still a Steelers team that, yes, defensively, they've got a lot of pieces, and there's a lot of really, really good things that they've done constantly. They're 9th, though, in PFF grading, so it hasn't been that extreme. And defensively, I think the Giants, they've done some really, really good things too, because I look on the other side, and it's not just Dexter Lawrence who's just filling up the middle, and it's not just Brian Burns on the edge, but we're seeing Andrew Phillips, who's really played amazing football as a rookie right from the get-go, 6th in terms of coverage grade at PFF, and a number of other guys, Tyler Nubin, I believe his name is, out from the Minnesota Gophers, rah for Skyuma, rah for the U of M, for the people who know. Your real ones. But I also want to put Najee Harris over 61.5 rushing yards. I just talked about Jaylen Warren. We're going to eventually see that ceiling game, but there's a lot of scripts where I think Najee Harris ends up getting over the 61.5 mark. I've got him at 68. I don't think that's good enough because that's a mean projection. From a median perspective, this seems about efficient. It feels as though I'm just paying the juice or flipping a coin, and I'm not in the business of flipping coins. Plus, I have 2 props coming up that I really, really like and I really, really believe in almost equally, but one that I like a little bit more that I fired almost a full unit on. So we'll talk through those. Yeah, let's just talk through the first one now. Russell Wilson, 264 yards passing against the Jets, completely eviscerated them. I still don't think 202.5 passing yards is a good number here. I think you should be shorting this. I've got him closer to 180. 180. That's a good darts reference for the people, but -115 on DK. In fact, both of these plays are on DK, which isn't always the book that has the best odds, public book that ends up firing them up. But Russell Wilson, I don't expect the same amount of efficiency. I don't expect 109 quarterback rating for him in his next game out of the gate. Plus, I do think this is a spot where we see Najee Harris, 21 carries, 102 yards against the Jets. If he's got it going, again, I've thought about it. I just can't project him for anymore. I think if we see Najee Harris be that effective, they will go to the ground game more against a team like the Giants, who don't have as much of dynamic playmakers as Breece Hall, bringing Devontae Adams in and Garrett Wilson. Again, so wild the Jets are what they are. Transitive property, though, has me looking at the Giants where it's like, don't do it. Russell Wilson under 202.5 passing yards. That's going to be our first play for a half unit. But before our lock, fire this up, my friends. Bet365, damn good fun. Why don't you suck it to me one more time? Get low with $5. Get yourself $200 in bonus bets at any of these great states. Look at those states. Girl, look at those states. Girl, look at those states. Yeah, North Carolina, come on and raise up. Take your shirt off, twist it around your head, spin it like a helicopter. If you sign up at Bet365, you get an opportunity to be damn good and fun. You can sock it to them one more time. Pennsylvania, that's where you really want to be signing up. Brand new in your state. Bet365, bet 5, get 200. Only if you're 21 and over, 18 and over in Kentucky. If you have a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. To the lock we go. Put a lot of thought and effort into this one. Put a lot of thought and effort because I couldn't believe what I had ran for my first sim. And then, again, basically taking a game, running it about 10,000 times, and then simply saying, oh my God, how did this happen? Daniel Jones, his median outcome for me is north of 30 yards. His rushing yards, that is. His rushing yards are at 24.5 over a DK. That's a low number. But then I did some digging into this because I was like, man, Pittsburgh's defense, I really don't want to do this. And, well, Pittsburgh defense has been top 3 against rushing quarterbacks. They haven't given over 60 yards rushing to a quarterback this entire season. This can't possibly be correct, right? Well, yes, numbers don't lie to some extent. Well, numbers can always lie. You can always skew data to try to tell the story you're trying to tell in certain situations, but you want to let the data do most of the work. And when I look at the Steelers here, I want to just look at what happened over the course of their last couple of games. Like, what are the 7 games they've played? We play a small sample size sport here in the NFL. What have those 7 games looked like from a rushing quarterback perspective? Week 1, We all watched Kirk Cousins be as ineffective running around as humanly possible. His Achilles was still not right. Everybody was already screaming bloody murder, although they're not screaming it after that outing against Tampa Bay. Denver, week 2. Bo Nix, he was captain dump-off, still not comfortable in the offense, still not a whole lot going there. They completely clamped down on him, and, well, the Steelers' defense is very good there. The Chargers, Justin Herbert, not very effective running the football, except for, well, today out of the middle of nowhere where he scrambles for like 30-plus on one rushing attempt. Indy, Joe Flacco, not mobile. Dak Prescott, Dallas doesn't really run anymore. Las Vegas, week 6, Aiden O'Connell, nothing that he adds on the ground game. And the Jets, Aaron Rodgers, nothing in the ground game. The Steelers haven't played a quarterback that was mobile whatsoever. So I'm trusting the data. Over 24.5 rush yards for Daniel Jones, my favorite play from this game. 0.75 units that I currently have on it, mainly because, it's 0.8 units. Minus 120 on DK, my favorite play. Fire it up. That does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks in the NFL streets. Head to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays on this ugly, ridiculous football game. However, I think we found ourselves a little bit of value here. Under for Russell Wilson passing, over for Daniel Jones rushing yards. Going to be a fun one. I'm going to be watching it. You're going to be watching it because it's football on a Monday night. We love it. Producer Jacob, thank you so much. Yet again, sign up at Tails, Lindy50. Would love to see you there. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NFL streets on Monday night.